God, this is so frustrating. Can you see me? Because I've been logging in and on and off all the time. Because apparently Streamlabs is acting up again. Say hi if you see me. Finally. Okay, so yes, I was late. It's probably because of the Jubilee. It's very tough to actually be on time in this period. It's very traffic is very crowded, tourists crowded, so it's not very easy. But luckily, at last, I found a parking spot. Loud and clear. I'm glad. I read the chat before. Let me tell you that I was in the chat already. I've been in the chat already for 5 minutes. But as always, and you know that, it's not just the traffic. Most of the times, Streamlabs takes 5 minutes before it fixes. And I've been reading your messages for the last 5 minutes, but still it didn't allow me to. I was seeing your messages, but it showed at 0 people, and also you were not responding to my hello, so that meant that it wasn't working. So I always have to log off, log in, log off, log in until it works. For no reason, because I don't really know. So very frustrating that on top of being late because of all this traffic, and it's really tough. On top of that, you also have to struggle with Streamlabs, but we're here. And actually, I'm gonna go to the spot. Let me show you right away, far away, the beautiful dome, the Vatican, which right now is full of tourists and pilgrims, and not just for the Jubilee, but for Pope Francis, who, as you know, is not doing very well. So I'm praying for him to be better. Even though I'm not a religious person, still I'm praying for him to get better, as we all hope. Anyways, so welcome everybody. Sorry again for the little delay. Welcome to the second part of the bridges of Rome. Oh, this is a beautiful view, but I will show you in a bit. For now, and I don't want to spoiler. Prayers for the Pope. Yeah. So let me tell you really quick the infos. First of all, as you know, I started a newsletter. I've been asking emails from you, so if you haven't, do it again on Messenger, and in that way, next week you will get the newsletter. For those who did it in advance, you already got my newsletter 2 days ago, more or less, or yesterday, for the new ones. If you haven't received it and you send me the email, then probably there's something wrong with your email, or maybe just send me your email again. But I hope you liked it. I tried to make it a little fancy, and the new version is already better than the one I sent, so with more infos. You get all the infos there about my channels with the new one, about how to support the new, the current tour, and the upcoming tour, and also the next ones as well. And while I'm saying all this, we have a model in front of us trying to take pictures. No, it's just the tourists trying to take a nice photo, because here is a very, very beautiful spot for pictures. Now, let me tell you that this tour is free, is in English, it's live, and you can interact with me. And it's also supported by you. As always, the supports are done in two ways. You can support by spreading the word with your family and friends. And as I always say, I'm glad Cestio. And as I always say, the way to support is not just by leaving a tip, by spreading your word with your family and friends, so that more people get into the tour, and so more people can support, and so the tours can keep being a thing for everybody, because everybody enjoys the tour. So yes, it's a little windy, but hopefully you can still hear me. So it's very important that once you tell your friends, you tell them also to send a request on Facebook, and to subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, do it now. And also keep yourself active on the channel. So by commenting, by leaving likes, it's very important. Otherwise, YouTube will unsubscribe you. Other than that, you can support by leaving a tip. The tipping links are in the description below this tour, or in the description of the channel. Also in the description of the channel, you got the links. The links are PayPal and Buy Me Coffee. You have two options. So, no, you're spoiled for choices. And for choice. It's a beautiful sunny day, actually. It was rainy this morning, so glad that the sun came out. And slightly windy, but we're good. We're good. We're having a lovely winter. And I think I've said it all. So newsletter, how to support, PayPal, Buy Me Coffee, spread the word. Yes, I think we're ready to start. Send your hearts right now. And for those who are rewatching this later, yes, of course you can do so. Also, you can support later during the tour, after the tour, whenever you want. And as always, even a small amount makes a difference. Okay? So, ready to start? I'll flip the camera. Actually, I don't want to spoiler yet. And I want to give you this view with the screaming of a kid saying, "Mama, mama." Okay, we are on the Garibaldi Bridge. Garibaldi, we mentioned Garibaldi many times. You remember probably during our the most romantic hill of Rome, the Ianiculum Hill, which was divided in two parts, by the way. Interesting tour. There's a lot to see there. It's on the top of the Trastevere district, and okay, he was a little angry. That's a Romans get. I'm not turning the camera yet because I don't want to spoiler the beautiful view I have on my back. But before, I want to tell you a little bit more about this bridge, which, to be honest, is not the most beautiful bridge. It was built at the end of the 19th century. I'm just going to show you a little bit around with the beautiful sunny sunlight. But it's the first bridge to be built, and so very important for that, the first bridge to be built in Rome after the unification of Italy, which again occurred again at the end of the 19th century, and when Rome also became officially the capital of the country. And think that at the time of its construction, it was the third in terms of width. So It was the first in Italy, but the third in the world after the first two in Paris. I don't know why. I'm sorry for the kids screaming. Can't do anything about it. The first two biggest bridges were in Paris at that time, and then this was the third. So very important for that reason. And we're talking about 120 meters per 25 more or less. In terms of feet, 400 feet per 75 feet. So pretty big bridge. Honestly, mostly famous for and walked by tourists to admire what's behind me, to admire the Tiberine Island from the parapet. So he has a parapet compared to other ones. He has a parapet, and that allows you to actually take pictures and have a beautiful view, but definitely not for its beauty itself. There's nothing more to say about this bridge, but still it was important to start from here because of the view that I'm gonna show you in a few seconds. Something though that you may not think about is that once on the riverside, I'm gonna strike on the riverside, so this side near the bridge, there was the famous Renella beach with the typical bathhouses, actually very present in many movies of the early, I mean, I would say 1950s, 1960s movies. Many movies showed those beaches in Rome, and they were from this side, so very interesting to note. Now, again, the bridge is called Garibaldi Bridge for the famous, legendary general and politician that, again, I mentioned many times in my tour, so I'm not gonna mention those. I'm not gonna mention about him on this tour because we talked a lot about him in the past, and this is a tour dedicated to bridges. So now, instead of showing, well, no, I want to show you the beautiful view from here. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah, I'm not gonna be mean. So look at the beautiful seagulls on that. And this is the beautiful Tiberine Island. Look how beautiful. On the left, you have the beautiful dome of the synagogue, which we'll visit very soon during our Jewish ghetto tour, and which was never done before, so I'm very pleased to present that tour very soon. And in front of you, the island, the Tiberine Island. I think it's about 300 meters long, so around 1,000 feet, more or less. And it's wide, it's 90 meters wide, so more or less 300 feet. Take a beautiful postcard now. And the parapet I'm talking about is this. So you see why all these people are taking pictures here, because there's a beautiful parapet and the bridge actually here. So I'll show you the parapet from this side. You see? So the bridge and the parapet is there. That's probably the most interesting thing about this bridge. And then the view. Are you guys there? You're so silent. Anyway, a little legend about the island is that it was formed in a very curious way. Look how beautiful the birds flying, the seagulls flying. Yeah, such a beautiful. I need to get back and take a picture of this. Take it from me. So the legend has it that Romans were super angry after having overthrown in a popular uprising the tyrant Lucius Tarquinius Superbus, by the way, the last king of Rome. And so they threw his wheat and grain into the Tiber, and exactly into this area. The reality of this is that, I mean, the whole accumulation of mud after, and it gradually led to the forming of the island. But the truth is that tough rock compacted, forming the natural geological foundation for the sand that, of course, was dragged here by the river's current to rest, and in that way it created the island. So very curious to know about the legend about the forming of this island, and then of course they constructed on top of it with cement and travertine. Now let's go the other way. Let's follow the kids. And in the meantime, we are reaching the other bridge of this tour, which, by the way, there are more bridges compared to part 1 and a little extra if you want. Because, you know, I'm always thinking that we always show the best parts, the most famous parts, but then there are a lot of hidden gems that tourists might lose, might not see, just like we do as well, sometimes as Romans. And but actually, and they're hidden there, nobody goes there, and there are beautiful stories behind those maybe landmarks and buildings and churches. So I decided to always add a little extra, even in tours that I've done earlier before. You will always see something new, because Rome has so much to offer. So why not doing a little detour and see a little extra? It's still an extra, so I mean, we are not forced to go. But if you feel like it, we can add that to the tour. Oh, by the way, this is a way to descend to the Tiber, sorry. I'm thinking, what about doing it from below? How about that? Do you feel like doing that? Do you want to do it? How about that? So you tell me. Do you want to go from the top or from the bottom? Because we're never gone from the bottom. Maybe it might be an interesting tour this way. The first to respond. I mean, both are beautiful, so. Yes, let's do the bottom. Eventually we will have to climb again. It's a little dirty here, unfortunately. Not gonna lie, but I'm not showing you that. I'm just going to be careful with the descending. Sorry if I'm not paying attention to the chat for a moment, but yes, you don't want to get. I don't want to fall. Okay, there you go. At least we see the Tiber from close, which is a super interesting. We've never done it before, so very, very interesting. Even more quiet. It's just me and you guys. The crowd is on the top, and then we'll climb again after. Okay, so at least we do a little part. From the bottom, which is super interesting. I'm glad, actually. So let's then talk a little bit more about the island, since we're here and we're sitting from close. Look how calm we were on top of that bridge, by the way. You can see now. Look at the beautiful sky also. You see the rocks here. You probably have never seen the... You were not expecting this. Come on. This is already an extra. Totally unexpected even from my side, because I was not expecting to do it from the bottom. But yes. Anyways. Think that the island has been always associated in traditional way through the centuries with the healing of the sick. In fact, it is often said that the island is called the stone ship, a way to refer to this association, so to the fact that the island is healing the sick people. It is fun, I agree. It's a beautiful walk, actually, very calm and tranquil. So, in the 3rd century BC, before Christ, there was a terrible plague that swept through the city of Rome and wiping out much of the population of the city. And the priest dispatched a delegation on a ship to Epidaurus. Epidaurus was a small ancient city in ancient Greece, and also site of a sanctuary to Aesculapius. Who was Aesculapius? We mentioned also many times. I mean, long time ago though. Aesculapius was the god. Is the god of medicine. In this place, there was a statue of Aesculapius. And the priest wanted these statues to get back to Rome, because being Aesculapius, the god of medicine and healing, he would have stopped the plague. So the ambassadors returned, bringing with them, instead of the statue, a serpent, a snake, an animal very closely associated with the god. Now, the interesting story, the interesting fact about it is that on approaching the island, the snake jumped from the ship and swam to the islet, to this islet that we have in front. Look how beautiful, it's just us. So, what happens next? Believing this was kind of an incarnation of the god himself, the god of medicine and healing, a temple to Aesculapius was erected just where the snake landed on this island. And the island was carved into the shape of a ship. And as a tribute to the event, of course. So, very interesting story. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Look how beautiful this view is. I never thought we were going to actually view it from here, but very, very interesting sight. Now, the temple of Aesculapius today lies in a place that I'm gonna show you very, very in a few moments. Okay, now I will take advantage of this beautiful view, and you probably see the inscription as well there on the arch of the bridge. It says Fabricius, Fabricius, because of Latin they use V instead of U, as in Fabris. Probably not a very common name in English, Fabris, but quite common in Italy. Look how beautiful this is. Look how beautiful this is. I'm glad I had this sudden idea because I was not expecting it at all. Seriously, not even kidding. Okay, think that during summer, the whole banks are covered with bars, just a little the tour in terms of infos, and people come here to enjoy the river and a drink and blah blah blah. And on that part of the island, they place a big screen with for cinema. People sit in front, they enjoy a movie in the beautiful island of Rome. How romantic and magnificent is that? Who is missing this tour is missing a great extra, especially live. Right? Don't you agree? Now we can turn and look the bridge from this side. Look, don't you feel like you're adventuring in a very historical adventure? Because this is unusual also in terms of architecture. So it's not very common. I feel like I'm in a medieval film, right? Look how beautiful this bridge is with the two arches and the little arch in the middle. Very, very beautiful. We're not seeing at any bridge, by the way. Of course, this is part of the tour as well. We're just seeing from the bottom, but I mean, different way. We'll climb up after, of course. Let's see if I have the chance to do so. Maybe on the other side, okay. And then eventually, or maybe we can just do the tour from, no, I can't. We have so much to see also on upper, so we're first to go back. It looks quite wild. Yes, David. I mean, yes, I would say. But it depends also on the site where you are. In this part of the river, the current is pretty strong. If you happen to go a little back there, then it's a little bit more calm. And actually, there's a story connected to this current, to this part of the current. So, very interesting to know after. Let's see if you remember when we'll get at the end of the tour. Fabricio Bridge, as I mentioned before, the spelling, is the best preserved Roman bridge in the city. I mean, of course, Roman bridge. I mean, but Roman can be anywhere, right? And together with the Milvian Bridge, we've seen it also in a tour that we've done of the Italic Forum. This is, together with the Milvian Bridge, the oldest bridge still in use in the city. It was built, think about it, in 62 before Christ. And the name, of course, reconnects to the builder. So, in this case, Lucius Fabricius. That's why the name of the bridge, Fabricius Bridge. As we were talking also about the structure, it's tough, and it's covered for a large section with travertine slabs. And I think this is the time to go back, but maybe on the other side. So hopefully I'll be able to go back from here and won't necessarily need to go back to where I descended. Now we'll go see the parapet, which is decorated with 2 marble urns with 4 heads, and this is where the modern name comes from. Because of these 4 heads, the bridge is also called Ponte dei Quattro Capi, in English, Bridge of the 4 Heads. So, which was already attested in the 16th century. Now, let's hope it's not closed. It looks like it's not, and I'm lucky. Okay, so let's go. Now, a little legend about the urns that I'm gonna show you literally in a few seconds. Very interesting, so pay attention. Listen up. This recall what happened to the 4 architects who worked on the restoration, again in the late 16th century. Oh, I can't get out, but I will anyways. This is closed. Interesting. Okay, just showing you this was closed, but I did it anyway. Anyways. Look at the four arms. This is what I was telling you about. Lean, I'm sorry, I read the message, but I was stuck in traffic. I was going crazy to look for a parking spot. Clearly, I couldn't put it on the calendar, especially from the phone. You know that I can't do it from the phone. So it's not I didn't want to. But I forgot to put it in advance. That's true. My bad. But again, I always remember about the calendar. If I don't scold me, because there's nothing I can do after, unfortunately, with my phone. You know that already. I'm not a techie person. Anyways, so you just came here to scold me. That's bad. That's bad, Lena. But anyways, look at the beautiful view with this four arms that I was telling you about. By the way, it's not just on this side, but also this side is way better. Yes. You can tell better the four faces. Very interesting story about this. I don't know if you look at the view as well. By the way, we were just there before, and now we're up. So as I was saying, the four architects that worked on the restoration of this bridge in the 16th century, they were always arguing about the repairs. They often were discussing, and so the Pope Sixtus the Fifth was so angry about this because they were always arguing, and this is probably a reason that shows us that there should be an architect for each construction, no more than one. You know, you can't put four heads together, and actually the Pope did. Thank you, Lynn. And actually the Pope did. He said, you know what, you argued, you couldn't agree on the repairs and everything, and now I'm gonna put you together for the rest of your life. So anyways, after the bridge was restored by the four architects, think about it, the Pope decided to behead them. So he didn't say anything until the completion of the work, but once the bridge was completed, he said, you know what, now I'm gonna behead you. And to remember this event, this monument of the four heads was constructed in a single block of marble, forcing again the four architects to an eternal close contact. How beautiful is this? A little story. Last curiosity about the bridge, by the way, while I'm showing you the whole. Of course, I can't go more than this. Last curiosity about the bridge is that the poet Horace, the famous Latin poet Horace, remembers this place as the bridge from which a lot of people in despair often threw themselves into the river. And my glasses are... allow me a little time to clean my glasses, I'm sorry. In the meantime, let me thank Diana for your support. You're the first one to support. Don't forget to support, very important. Thank you, Diane. And now, of course, we are enjoying... Sorry, I took a little time to clean my glasses. We're enjoying the walk here on the bridge. I think that the Tiberine Island is famous not only for... look, there's some love locks here. I think that this island is famous for one of the most famous Roman restaurants in the city, so Roman cuisine. She was the sister of a famous Roman actor, and then she became eventually an actress as well. But first of all, she was a cook, an amazing cook, and there are videos of her cooking on YouTube. If you wanna take a look, she's super fun. She's called Soralella. I'm gonna show you the writing so that you have you can look her up on YouTube. This is the name. So Soralella. See, the other guide is saying that it's a super famous restaurant. Okay, let me tell you about this lamp, Madonna della Lampada al Tevere, the Madonna of the lamp of the Tiber. As you see, there's a little lamp there. This is a very famous, iconic image. Why? Because it is said that during big floods, the lamp is the only light in the place, in the area, and so thanks to this, people can still recognize where they are located. Lovely dramatic sky, I agree. Thank you, Cynthia, and thank you for writing your name for your coffee. And look at the synagogue from here. I mean, at least the dome of the synagogue. And the bridge again. Now, you remember that I mentioned Aesculapius, the god of medicine in Italy? Well, and I also mentioned that the temple of dedicated to the god lies under the church of Saint Bartholomew. The church of Saint Bartholomew is right in front of us. Look how cute this church is. We'll go a little farther. This is a new basilica built at the end of the 10th century. I mean, not a new basilica, like a new basilica was built on top of the older one in the 10th century by the will of the Emperor Otto III. He has a quite Baroque style on the facade, 2 floors and a portico. In the church, by the way, are kept the remains of Saint Bartholomew the Apostle and those of Saint Adalbert, Bishop of Prague. Also the temple of Aesculapius, which lies again, as I said before, under the church. Very interesting. Among the most amazing works you can admire in the church, I need to necessarily tell you, if you come here, to admire the flagellation of Christ, a painting by Antonio Carracci, a famous painter and a famous painting. So definitely worth seeing. And the column in front dedicated to San Bartholomew on this side, St. Francis on this other side. And on this note, I will remember this Pope again, since he chose the name Francis because of St. Francis. St. John, And on the other side, San Paulinus. Beautiful. Look at the sky. I mean, come on, guys. The view, every view here is amazing. Beautiful, beautiful. Now you probably wonder what's more on this island. There's another church right here, Calibita, but it's always closed. It opens only on particular celebrations. And apart from the church, and this is the very last thing to be here in the island, is the hospital. This is a hospital. It's called Fate Bene Fratelli. At the end of the 16th century, the Spanish monks of the order of Saint John Calibiris, by the way, the same of the church, the same of the name of the church next to the hospital, founded a hospital which is still fully operational today, and whose name again, Fate Bene Fratelli, derives from the litany which these prelates used to sing as darkness fell, so while living to collect alms. Very interesting. By the way, Fate Bene Fratelli means brother, do good. Literally means that. Brother, do good. Fate is do. Bene is good. And Fratelli is brothers. So, do good, brothers. The hospital was commissioned by the Pope Gregory XIII in the late 16th century. And here, things that revolutionary health innovations were introduced. So very important hospitals, such as the division of the sick into departments specializing in a particular pathology. This was the first hospital to do so. Also, even though I don't talk to her anymore, here is where my cousin was born. So she was truly a true Roman. And this is the hospital, so very modern compared to the rest, but still very worth a mention for the story. Look at the view and the beautiful seagull we have. Let's hope he stays there. No, he's flying. Anyways. And now we are crossing Ponte Cestio, Cestius Bridge, that connects the Tiber Island to the historic Trastevere neighborhood. So to the right side, okay. Okay. Let's go see the view in the meantime. So you'll see, you have a complete overview today. And this is also where I generally come, because here they also place bars on both sides. But this side, where the left side is way more calm compared to the other one. So I prefer this one when summer comes. So beautiful view as well. This bridge, probably built in 46 before Christ, by Lucius Cestio. So again, just like the other bridge, they both were named after their builders, and left by Caesar to govern Rome during the Spanish War. It is almost contemporary with the opposite bank of the Tiber, and the Saint Angel district, the one of the castle. This is where we started our tour, by the way. Right there on that bridge, we went all over, then down, then up again the island, and now we're here. Look at the view here. Look at this beautiful sky. Super beautiful. So many, over the centuries, the bridge, which is, by the way, almost completely in stone, underwent numerous restorations and renovations, like most of the bridges here in this area, due to the continuous damage caused by the river current. And I'm already mentioning the current. As I said before, there's a reason. In 365, it was restored by the emperors Valentiniano, Valente, and Graziano, the three of them, in the shape of a large arch flanked by two smaller arches. Okay. It is a beautiful sunset, yes. Hopefully we'll happen to be here, but I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will. Let's see if I can show you a bit of the river. I don't want to risk my life too much, but yeah, this is the maximum. Probably we will see, okay, we'll see better from here, honestly. I don't know what I'm risking my life for nothing. Because literally I can go to this side and show you better. There you go. There you go. And this is the bridge. Again, the one big arch with two on the sides. So in total 3 arches. Now, before we actually continue the tour, we have the extra. You can decide if doing it or not. And while you decide to do the extra, which is none tour ever showed before, that means that probably it's not the biggest landmark, but still, I still want to show you a few things, you know? I mean, while we're here, why not? And while you decide on that, I want to remind you, since we're halfway, that this is a free tour. You are welcome to support it with either coffees on Buy Me Coffee or with support on PayPal. And both ways are fine. Again, you can also support by spreading the word with your family and friends, but very important to support the tours. The more tours are supported, the more tours keep going. As we do our part, as you know, I'm trying to sponsor the tour as much as possible with this newsletter, also on other social media and stuff. So this is a family job. Okay. Now, nobody answers, so I guess you don't want to see the extra, so I will continue with the normal tour, right? Is that right? Okay, yes, I knew you wanted the extra. I knew that. I knew it. I was already going that way. Now, let's reach this little square. Which is right in front of the bridge of Cestio Bridge where we were, so super easy. So you can't miss it at all. Okay? I'm just gonna place myself here because it's better, it's easier. And ta-da! You're saying, okay, what is this, Adrian? I figured to show you something peculiar, because definitely this is it. As much as we get closer, you will notice the beauty of this. We are in Piazza Piscinula, which is so named because of the ancient presence of a thermal establishment with tubs or pools In fact, think that in Italian piscinula is a diminutive of piscina, and in English piscina means swimming pool. So this was a place of thermal baths, pools, and so on. That's why this square is named that way. By the way, and Rome at that time was filled with all these places, which gave name to the localities. But in this case, this is the only one left with the name. The place, the square, and the nearby street, the adjacent street as well. On the square, we see this magical corner, I would say, of this ancient medieval memory. If it was not reduced to a miserable parking lot, unfortunately, as you see, very sad. But other than that, this is just magnificent to see. Overlooked by the whole square, overlooked by this beautiful building, 15th century old, Casa Mattei, so house of the Matteis. Mattei is the last name of the family that owned this place, which is right in front of us. The oldest traces are revealed in the entrance, which I want to show you right now. Now they're completely walled up. You're not allowed to enter from this side. There are 2 columns and an architrave in the center, and Guelph cross windows, as you see right there. And this is the entrance. And also you see, which is surmounted, this portal by the Mattei coat of arms right there on top. This was the central door of the house. Shows that from this other side, on the other hand, we can admire a beautiful lodge. There you go. Look how beautiful. That is resting on an ancient portico with a medieval column. This is the column. Then now, unfortunately, converted into a garage. I think I said that is. The building was the scene of a murder. Very macabre ending. Think that it was a family tragedy because the whole family was murdered here. At least 5 or 6 members. The thing that this family had been present in Rome since the 13th century. There's also a Madonna right there. I don't know if you can notice the details, but it's super beautiful. I don't know if you're enjoying this as much as I am, but in the 17th century, with the death of the last heirs, the building passed to another family. Then, in the 1870, look how beautiful. In the 1817, with again, also the unification of Italy, the building housed the famous Inn of the Wench Girl. And in fact, this was probably the final use of this building. So, not a very good ending. Now, after this little extra, actually 2 extras, because we went to the bottom of the river, which was totally unexpected. Now we're crossing again, leading to the next bridge. So we've seen 1, 2, 3, and now a 4th bridge. little extra. Not the big, not the biggie, but still little extra. I mean, it's so close. So if you happen to be here, why not? I will show you the house from farther again, which is right there. Super antique. And it's almost sunset, so it's perfect time. Perfect time. Let's talk a little bit about the Tiber as well. I mean, men and river have always had a very close relationship. We all have with rivers and water in general. Look at the current here, by the way. Super wild. Everything happens on river courses. Everything, literally everything. Especially if you think of Rome. Everything happens in Rome. Everything happened in Rome. Definitely. And think of the birth of civilizations, or cities are born and trade is done, and blah blah blah. So one of the most emblematic example of this spot is definitely the one that Rome has with its river, the Tiber. I'm not gonna expand much on the legend, because you already know the legend that lies behind this river of Romulus and Remus, the two twins, the first king of Rome, fed by the she-wolf, then became the symbol of Rome, blah 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 blah. You know that, so I'm not gonna talk much on that. I'd rather show you this beautiful view of the island from here. And we are on Ponte Palatino, Palatine Bridge. Again, not famous for its beauty or elegance, more for its practicality, just like the first bridge. So we start and we end with a practical bridge instead of an elegant one. Not really, because I have a little extra for you, but still, think that during the second half of the 19th century, so very modern era, there was the need, an urgent need, for a bridge that could serve the areas that were formerly connected by another ancient bridge, which I'll show you after, which is of course closed. Therefore, the bridge was built between 1886, 89, designed by engineer Angelo Vescovalli in collaboration with a Belgian firm. And a curiosity about this bridge, though, which, by the way, I want to show you also the style a little, which is iron. And it may recall something, I don't know. It's also called the English Bridge, or the Bridge of the English, for a particular reason, because of the reversed direction of travel compared to the normal direction of traffic in Rome. As you know, Rome's roads and bridges have a different direction, which is all over Europe is the same. We have the steering wheel on the left, as in London they have it on the right, and here is the reversed bridge. As you see, cars are going differently in the direction that it's supposed to be. So also called the English Bridge for this reason. Very interesting, even though it's not the only bridge that does that. So so very interesting to know. The island is getting lit up because it's almost sunset. It's the perfect time. And I want to end this tour with the broken bridge, of course, which is the one I mentioned before, because the Palatine Bridge was built because this one got broken. Oh, look how beautiful this bird is. unfortunately I can't show you, but yes. Now, the in Rome it is commonly known as Roman broken bridge, but is actually what remains of the ancient Aemilius bridge, like Emily. First made of wood as early as the 3rd century before Christ, and then rebuilt in Massery a century later. It was the longest bridge in the city, and with an important strategic position. There you go. You're so silent today. Wow, so attentive. A lot of bugs here, sorry. Look how beautiful though, look how decorative this bridge is. And I'm just showing you, you probably can tell, you also see the dome of the synagogue from here, and you see why it's broken. So it goes from here literally to here, right? It was again the longest bridge in the city at that time, and with an important position because here was serving a lot of important areas. But it had a very troubled history. It was placed obliquely, by the way, to the current of the river. We were mentioning that before, you remember? With David, you probably asked for you probably mentioned that the river was a little wild, and now I'm getting to that story that I was mentioning before. So being built obliquely to the current at a point where the water was very particularly rushing, and we saw it before in a point of the tour just a few minutes ago. It was very often overwhelmed by the power of the river, of the Tiber, and sometimes damaged, sometimes destroyed. It was subject of many reconstructions. There are too many to even mention. Floods, blah blah blah. Literally the bridge that suffered the most. The half of the bridge that remained standing was turned into a roof garden, and we probably can notice the garden from this other side, so I will go back. But this happened until, happened in the 18th century, in the late 18th century, almost modern times. There you go. You see part of the roof, and you see also how the bridge is broken here. See? But again, the instability of the bridge made it completely unusable even as a roof garden. So again, it was destroyed in that case. At the end of the 19th century, the Pope, Pius IX, decided to put the bridge back in operation using suspended metal footbridges. But this solution, guess what? It lasted until 1887. So when the footbridges were removed for the construction of the Tiber embankments of the new Palatine Bridge, which is the bridge where we are on right now. You see, like it's super close. Constructed in a very so if you see the difference in terms of direction, this comes this way, so it would totally cross the bridge where we are right now, and this is crossed this way. It's like a cross, so definitely a better direction. Hugs to the broken bridge, definitely. And on this occasion, by the way, the bridge was stripped of its two outermost arches, leaving it in the state it is in to this day, and permanently nicknamed from that time on the Broken Bridge. And you can tell the breaking. Now this is perfect time for our sunset picture. and the finale of this tour. I wanted to end with a broken bridge, a poor baby. But so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bridges today. The last time were 3, but of course way more, probably way more decorated, way more artistically important. But in terms of history, probably this side is way more important. So still two parts of the city which are full. See, even the bridges can be a tour. Why not? Why not? With the beautiful Tiberine Island. And on that note, tour is ended. Tour is ended. Hopefully you enjoyed the tour. This was the second part of the bridge. It's the last of the series. Probably not the most popular, but still, I still want to entice you to enjoy it, because it's, as you see, and the ones that were in the chat probably enjoyed it. It's a very, very particular tour. Now, next week we are going finally to the fourth part of the villas. We're seeing Villa Pamphili. Villa Pamphili. I shouldn't even say anything about it. One of the most beautiful villas in Italy. So very glad that we're going there again, if the weather is nice, because we also been very unlucky. As you know, I had to move it many times, but in case that I have to move it again, you will be warned on the newsletter or on Facebook in any case. Okay, so hopefully enjoy the tour. As always, you can support by leaving a tip, both PayPal or Buy Me Coffee, and which are in the description of this tour, so on the video below, or in the description of the channel. If you have any problem with that, you can just message me on Messenger for the links. Thank you. Oh, and Google Earth, I love that. Wow, interesting. How curious. If you come to Rome and you need also an in-person tour, let me know. So have a lovely evening, and I leave you with a view of this beautiful island. Thank you, everybody. And the sound of the seagull. Bye.